That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about Copshop, the 8th film directed by Joe Carnahan, which Open Road Films is releasing September 17th, 2021.
Do we know any of Joe's other films?
Well, we reviewed his last film, Boss Level, also starring Frank Grillo.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't recall caring for at all. But he's kind of a little hit or miss, I think, in his filmography. To me, this is the best thing he's done in a decade, but I'm still a fan of his sophomore film, Narc, and the Liam Neeson Fights the Wolves movie, The Grey, I think has a lot to offer.
Well, Joe has style.
Yeah, for sure.
He has style.
But again, I think this is more successful with some kind of limitations almost.
I agreed to watch, to be transparent, I agreed to watch it because I thought it was going to be a wreck. Well, you know.
Okay.
So,
I thought you agreed to watch it because you like Gerard Butler.
I do like Gerard Butler, who I just recently learned was in Dracula 2000. Because I know, like, I watched Dracula.
It's not a secret.
No, but I watched Dracula 2000 thinking that the lead, the vampire, was really attractive, but couldn't place who it was until I looked it up and then realized it was Gerard Butler. And then Frank Grillo's cool too. I
do like Frank Grillo, who's also very attractive. I really hated the man bun, which is touched upon in the film, but...
Well, I didn't think it... Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of man buns, depending, but I think what makes it worse is when he puts it down.
I think it's...
Because it's not a full head of hair, so it looks all stringy and
It's part of the characterization. There,
it is. But anyway, okay, the basic story is Frank... So it's set in modern time in, like, Nevada, and Frank Grillo plays a character who is running from people, like someone's trying to kill him. So his solution is to get arrested and thrown in jail because he thinks he'll be protected there. So he's successful. He assaults a cop named Valerie, who's played by...
Alexis Louder.
Who I thought was the best part of the film. I thought she was really great.
By far. Even through, I think, when it hits a leg, I think she
keeps it.
Definitely a bright light. Yeah.
Yes, so the cop Valerie's assaulted, of course, so now Frank Grillo's thrown in jail.
At the Gun Creek Police County.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, the person trying to kill him is Gerard Butler. So Gerard Butler, like, runs into some cop cars to get his ass arrested and thrown into the same jail as Frank. All right, the reason they're trying to kill Frank is because there's some, like, nefarious political law cop corrupt thing going on.
Well, the Nevada Attorney General had just been murdered, and he was somehow involved with that, and now he is he calls himself a high-end consultant, and basically Valerie says, "Oh, you're a fixer," and he's like, "I hate that word." But so he has turned to assist the FBI with by turning all these other people in this kind of underbelly Nevada politics.
Right.
Basically.
I feel like that part of the story was a little more complicated than it needed to be.
Well, they just hint at it at all the right moments. All you need to understand
there's a lot of TV, like, news footage of it as well. But, so now the bulk of the film is Frank and Gerard locked up in this jail trying to get at each other when a third person shows up. Who's that man?
Toby Huss.
To sort of finish the job.
Playing Anthony Lamb.
Yeah, he's there to finish the job that Gerard didn't finish. It's also important to know there's a corrupt cop within her little area named Huber. Okay, so Huber's kind of assisting the third guy, but it all culminates with him showing up, all the cops getting killed except for Valerie. So Valerie's in the basement in the jail holding area with Frank and Gerard.
Injured.
She's injured
because
she sort of shot herself because of ricochet. She's trying to decide which one of these two fools will help me. And first she decides Frank, because he's the one they're trying to kill. But he ends up being selfish and not trying to help her, which Gerard said he's not going to help you. So Gerard ends up helping Valerie. He kills Frank, he helps Valerie get mended up, and then he escapes. But the end of the film is Valerie, because she refuses to be a corrupt cop. While she's in the ambulance, this is the very end of the movie, she tells the paramedics, like, you need to pull this shit over and get out because I'm going to go chase Gerard. And she does. The end.
Which Gerard is playing a character named Bob Viddick, and Frank Grillo is playing a character named Teddy Murretto.
Okay. Well, people know them as Frank and Gerard.
Sure, but you're calling Alexis Valerie, and just to.
Oh, true. Consistency. Mm-hmm. That's what we're known for here. You are, not me.
What is that quote? Consistency is the hobgoblin of small minds.
Oh, well, then, I'm just doing what felt natural.
Uttered by Sigourney Weaver in Copycat.
I only have 6 notes. Should I go first?
Tell us them.
Okay, when we first walk into the police station, which is actually very nice and modern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, I was like, this is a comfy, I would work there.
Yeah, because I went to college in Las Vegas, and I feel like nothing is that nice in Las Vegas. So I don't know where this Shit Creek County is that they have this super nice police department. But when we first walk in, and like as they're escorting Frank to the holding cell, he walks by the armory. Mm-hmm. And the armory, so like where these cops keep all of their weaponry, is in plain sight. Like the damn sundry shop. Mm-hmm. I thought that was crazy. Because then, of course, you're like, well, obviously, someone's going to break into this at some point. One of the cops who's overweight.
There's several,
but one of the guys walks up and asks him about like diabetes or like, are you feeling better with your diabetes, which he doesn't have. And he goes, not all fat guys have diabetes.
Yeah.
There are a few funny moments.
The script, I'd say, which was written by Kurt McLeod, which first time narrative feature script, I thought was kind of good.
I do think Gerard Butler's handsome. He's aging, like how I guess he should. But I thought he looked like Peter Dinklage in this.
Oh, really?
But I think Peter Dinklage is handsome too, so it's not shade. But the way his hair is done, and when we first see him, because when we first meet Gerard, he's pretending to be drunk.
Yes.
So his hair is all forward, and he's like, ugh, and then.
Was giving me Mel Gibson vibes, but maybe it was.
Sure, but when we first see his face, he's like pushed up against the jail cell bars. Mm-hmm. So the way his face was like scrunched in, I thought he looked like Peter Dinklage.
Okay.
No? Okay. You thought Mel Gibson.
I thought Mel Gibson, but.
These cops in this police department are very sassy.
Yes.
Which was very surprising. Like, what area is this that they have, like, these really sassy... And then, like, a couple of them are attractive. Valerie seems like she should be, like...
Well, she's beautiful.
She's beautiful and seems like... She just seems too good for this shit.
Yes.
But the sergeant...
Oh, yeah.
He was grating. That actor was... just shouting everything. I mean, I'm assuming that's how he was directed to deliver these lines. But it was tiring. I think luckily he gets killed like halfway through.
I think he was supposed to be grading.
It was a little too much for me.
But Alexis Louder, she had a very she had a throwaway role in The Tomorrow War, that Chris Pratt movie from earlier this year. But to me, this is kind of not a star-making performance, but definitely
she has a lot of screen presence,
yeah.
And I think her character was written well enough, and then she was able to make more of it.
Yes,
because there's a sincerity about her acting that worked really well.
Yes, and I think, it does. I think it hits a moment where it lags quite a bit, and I think that's after Toby Huss shows up. And I liked his part, but it does hit a lag where she's stuck down there with them, and then of course has an obligatory. She's managed to patch herself up and has to give a monologue basically when it's like, you should have just shot that man.
Yeah, but I thought the final fight scene with her and Frank and then Gerard steps in, I thought that was well done. But then the very ending when they're like when she's in the ambulance and then she and Gerard, they split screen it and they're singing a song, because there was a moment earlier in the film where they talk about deja vu.
They're singing a Curtis Mayfield song.
And then at the end, they're both they turn on the same radio station. I felt like I didn't need that final scene.
I felt like
because all it demonstrates is that she's like an honorable law enforcement agent.
I agree. I think that it's not necessary, but then it does kind of drive home that characterization.
It does. But it felt a little long.
I think if you like, the original John Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13, there's a lot to offer here. I don't know.
I don't have anything else.
I went in expecting, especially because I didn't like Boss Level. I do like Grillo, Butler sometimes, and I just had really kind of no expectations, and I came away pleasantly surprised.
What would you give it?
3 out of 5.
I would give it 2.5 out of 5.
Okay.
But I think it's worth the watch.
Sure.
All right, bye.
Bye.